We're going to discuss this two-man challenge that we are facing in our podcast from the perspective of, you know, exploring me, discovering what he knows about me.
Discovery.
Discovery. This is a real period of discovery.
Yes.
And so we left off talking about how important it is that we get to know who we are from a Godward perspective, the way he knows us. I mean, he's content. Isn't it strange that our Creator is more content with what he knows about us than we are? And we live inside these bodies every day.
Mm-hmm. Discovery requires digging. It requires work. And everybody is not equipped for the dig, how deep you need to go to discover who you are, who God made you to be. Everybody doesn't want to put in that amount of time and energy into it, which is required in order to get there. So a lot of people miss the mark of discovering who they are. Or some people are just content with where they are. This is how I am.
Vic, let me catch you off guard here for a moment. Discovery. You said discovery. How long you been married?
23 years.
23 years. What is one thing you would have liked to have known more about yourself before you got married?
I would have loved to have known what it means to love unconditionally. I would have loved to have known that I have I've gotten to, before I got married, I was at a place where I was numb emotionally.
Explain that. Numb emotionally.
Meaning, if my wife was upset, I didn't have the correct response to match how she feels.
So you were without orientation.
Yes.
Now, before the wife then, what are some things that you feel that you might have missed as a young single man prior to marriage? Things that you've discovered since being married that certainly could have used some work before you said I do.
How deep you want to go?
As deep as we got to.
I didn't know what I had because of some things that I have experienced at a young age. I didn't understand the true meaning of what love is. I thought love was I thought love between two people was physically coming together.
Okay, more sexual?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
business,
unhealthy.
Sexual and business? Or
Yes.
just sexual, mostly? Intimacy?
Just sexual intimacy.
Okay.
That's what I thought. That's
So you thought
how
it was
you show
more,
love.
Are you saying that you thought it was more of us fulfilling each other sexually?
Yes, that's
kinda
what I
keeping
thought.
that area taken care of, servicing that need from that perspective more than anything else?
Yes.
Okay.
Love is so much more than that. I didn't understand that it was much deeper, more complex than that.
So before we leave there, how did the misunderstanding or the improper definition of it affect your behavior in it?
Well, my first child came when I was 18.
Okay.
My second child came when I was 22, and I still wasn't married yet.
Okay.
So as a parent nowadays, like me parenting my own children, starting off young, teaching and instilling them the importance of relational intelligence, understanding what this person means to you, where you are in the process, how you treat someone, was an important thing that I wanted to make sure that my children knew. And then you still can't make sure of anything. You could teach.
Yeah.
And then how they're wired is how they interpret, or how their experiences also. Because what I've also learned is that you can't shield your children from.
No, because you weren't shielded.
Right.
And you got where you are.
Yeah.
You still came around.
Yes, I did.
Sometimes the parent forgets that life, even though we look at it sometimes like, oh, life gonna kill them for their involvement. Life is gonna kill my child for their involvement in it. The reality is that was an insanity your parents had also.
Yes.
When you were a certain age. But look at where you are. We made it.
We made it.
Sometimes we just simply need to do what David did. Oh, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are the works of your hand. See here, and again, let's companion this part with the last section of our discussion. So here David is now saying, even when I thought my life in derision was going to keep me from becoming the worth of me, here I am. You knew all the time that was just a part of me. And you had already embraced that part, that me, whom I had yet to see. Back to discovery. We're trying to discover. Is it that we're asking God for insight for more than we need to know yet? Is he really saying to us it's okay to just be in the knowing of where you are until it's time to know the rest of the story, where you're headed? Or is it could he possibly be saying, you know enough now, learn how to embellish yourself with it, and a time will come when I will give you more information or revelation on a need-to-know basis?
Yes. I wish I knew, prior to me getting married, I wish I knew how to,
take care of a woman?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know.
Not be so self-centered?
I could have easily fumbled. I could have easily not, like, if my wife wasn't raised how she was raised, if her parents didn't instill the things in her that she had, then I would have easily fumbled that ball.
That's a lot of marriages. But it's the nuance of an ignorant society. The woman has actually paid the price for that ignorance more so than the man.
And it leaves a wake of hurt, scars.
A lot of scars, lots of wounds,
Yeah.
a lot of damaged emotions, etc. Yes. So let's live with that a little bit, because you're saying discovery still, it sounds like something needs to crawl up out of there and face us that hasn't. So we see ourselves in a different light that enables us this time to be ourselves in a different or more favorable light.
It was not very long ago that I had to be like, do I need to forgive myself? That's what I asked myself that question, because I know that forgiveness needs to be a thing. Now I'm going through, how many people do I need to forgive? And I mean like meaningful things, not somebody stepped on my foot.
Yeah.
But do I need to forgive? Who do I need to forgive? Because, maybe I'm the only one, but there's a lot of things in my life that I've compartmentalized that I don't even remember it happening.
Okay.
There's some things that probably happened in my childhood and later on that I don't remember it. There's a lot of stories that I can go back around family members or some friends from high school, and they will tell a story about something happened. And it's funny now, something happened, and this is how you responded. And I'm like, I don't remember that day at all, right? So the Lord told me that you need to forgive yourself because of some of the things that I said, some of the scars that I've inflicted on other people. I've been carrying that around. The self-shame, other people might not know about it. Me and that person know, other people don't know, I know. And even though I may have apologized sincerely to that person, I still know how deep it cut. And you got to be able to get over it yourself.
Vic, you're reminding me of some things. It's very important. I live like this. If my spirit man makes a suggestion to me, I hear it as something I need to do. The question happens from within me, Lord, do I need to forgive myself? I say, God, thank you for showing me I need to forgive myself. If the thought emanates or matriculates from within me, of someone in particular, I may see an image or a situation that I totally missed altogether, just did not consider the weight of it. If it revisits me and it challenges me, automatically I yield to it. I've learned that it's how the Spirit of God communicates with me to help me be free to be me. Sometimes I need to forgive, sometimes I need to be forgiven, and I'll pursue both so that I'm able to be free. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. We think it's out there in the church where everybody can shout and sing and speak in tongues and be happy. No. If the Spirit of the Lord is visiting you, he's trying to liberate you. Jesus said, I came to set you free, to set the captive free. Sometimes the bondage we're in is the bondage to self. Self. And I used to pray, Lord, thank you for delivering me from pride of race, pride of pace, pride of face, and pride that I receive in this place, or the space I occupy, because those things try to induce the wrong frame of mind, a wrong attitude. I don't need to be celebrating my life at the expense of someone else. I need to be enjoying it because of your goodness and your love towards me, not to shame others or to make myself appear to be something that I'm not. But yeah, that's it's good. I just kind of want to stay right there though, because there are some things that some of us still need to hear as men that we may not be considering before we get married. You ever looked at it like this? The closer you get to your woman or wife, the more of her heart you see. If you haven't learned how to interpret the heart, you won't know the frailty of the individual and how some of your behavior, the things that don't have to be the way that you go about it, how much it affects and devastates sometimes, punishes, and causes or induces pain where it didn't have to.
Yeah. I wish I weren't as guarded.
See?
I wish I didn't have such a wall up before I met my wife, before I got married.
So you had a wall up.
Yeah.
Wonder where the wall came from.
When you are left to sort through your own emotions, young, you learn how to guard your heart because you don't want to hurt.
But you wanted to guard your heart to protect you.
Yeah.
But you wanted a relationship.
Yes. How's that?
Help me understand the conundrum, or help me understand it. You wanted to be guarded, but you wanted a relationship.
Yeah, so when you're young, you feel like, I like that person a lot. You know, she has shown that she likes me. All right, so let's get together. Let's see where it goes. At the same time, I know that, well, maybe I don't even know. Maybe I don't even know how guarded I am. I'll say that. I don't even know how guarded I am. I don't even know what it's like to be vulnerable.
Okay.
What does that even mean? That mean I'm weak?
So you're talking about the Vic proud of marriage. Now, he doesn't even know what it's like to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
But he wants to be in a vulnerable situation, even
I
though
want
it's
to,
not,
but I don't know how to open
definition.
up. Yeah, I don't know how to open up to you.
So he doesn't know true love requires vulnerability.
I don't know how to show you my heart.
But you want to be in a relationship where the person shows you
theirs. Right? So, and so so it's at that point then that there can be a trail of bodies left in your wake.
Okay.
Because, you know.
You get the physical fulfillment.
Yeah. And so the Lord
keep going.
The Lord has blessed us with charisma and charm and the ability to, and we're attractive to folks, and I'm talking about anybody,
Yes.
right? I'm talking about anybody, not just, let's just say it's me, right?
Okay.
And then you lure these people in thinking that you're the one and y'all gonna make a go of this or whatever, but you're not even emotionally equipped to handle that person
But
properly.
are you even emotionally involved?
No, you're physically involved.
You're psychologically driven,
Yeah.
impulsively committed to get a fulfillment in a physical act that won't leave you alone mentally.
Yeah.
It's lust. You want to satisfy the demands of your lust at the expense of someone else's existence.
I'm not shaking my head in agreement, but I'm in my head. I'm painting a picture of what that looks like, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that's how it looks.
yeah. That's how it looks. It wasn't the intention,
Yeah.
but it was the manifest. It's what happened, whether intelligent or ignorant. It was the act.
So now you feel bad.
Now you feel bad
you know,
because you got somebody else thinking about you in another way that you don't think about them.
Yes.
And now you're beginning to feel what you didn't feel initially. And that's the pain you've caused.
Yeah. The wall, I'm a processor, right? So, I take in information and then, over time I chew it and digest it. And, oh yeah, I understand, instead of being in the moment and understanding or being empathetic and knowing how would this affect me if the shoe was on the other foot, and being able to see that before it happens. That right there would give you some emotional and relational intelligence, and not leave so much of a trail of destruction.
My mom spent the kind of time with me to help me understand the weight of a woman's heart and why I needed to regard it rather than be insensitive to it. So much so that when I would even pursue as a single man the act, it was with the kind of grave and reverential caution that had to be based upon whether or not you would be someone I could consider myself marrying. If I could not see you as someone that I would marry, then I wasn't going to take a chance. Because I understood how a third person could be the offspring of that behavior.
Yeah.
So I had this conscience that would just convict me when I get so close, to the point where it would ask me a question: are you really sure that you want to take this chance? And I would literally cut it off, back out of it, and not go through with it. And didn't always receive the best response.
Yeah, I was about to say this. So that leaves
Yeah,
on the other
because
end.
now it almost looks like you're telling me I'm not worth that, or I'm not worthy of you, or no, I'm trying to say you're much more valuable and precious and worthy than this, because you're about to be in a situation with someone who really doesn't feel the same way you do. That's not something we visit often. And I'm telling you, man, it became a real deal for me.
You know New Edition?
Huh?
You know the group New Edition?
Yes.
Sorry, you're not my kind of girl.
Wow, don't know the song, but I got you. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the song that came to my head just now
Yes.
while we were.
Yeah.
Like, you're the kind of girl that a man will be proud to call his own, but
Right.
you're just not for me.
You're right.
Yeah, I get
Right.
it.
Right. Story of my life. So, yeah, she had to be someone that I would consider marrying, and because I knew the risk, Mom made me feel the risk.
Everybody doesn't have that. Everybody
Right.
doesn't get what your mom gave
Right.
you.
Right.
So I'm gonna say that majority of the population doesn't get.
Right.
So
And
that was a gift.
I knew it. I knew it.
She gave you a gift. There's a
Because
lot of.
oftentimes the female would be found saying, but they tried, and here I am making this available for you, but you know, and so I said, but I'm sorry, it's you're too precious, you're too important, you're too valuable, you owe yourself too much more. I'm not worthy of this. This is something you save for someone that has the same feelings that you do.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that became a big deal. And so I understand where you are because I'm a man too. But I know what it's like to want up to that point. It's like, but the strength of my purpose unveiling itself through my vision at an early age also became a dual sense of weightiness that made it hard for me to violate the things that I knew as parameters for my restrictions, and at the same time just created a struggle within me because I didn't know how to turn off those igniting passions that I was growing through like all young men. And so I needed help real bad. Yeah. I went to the doctor one time, and the doctor said to me, boy, this is really getting in there. He said to me, young man, he asked me my age, I told him. He said, you're a handsome young man. He said, the test looked like you really going through a lot. You're like you're going to bust if you don't do something. He said, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Either you're going to become someone that's good at masturbating, or you getting ready to go out there and you're going to have to relieve yourself with some of these young women that you're around.
The doctor said that.
The doctor told me that, yeah. He said, because if you don't, you're going to burst. And so it was almost, he was saying that you're going to deal with this. He described the name, you know, I'm going to all of that.
Yeah.
But he said that you're going to, you know, your nature's demanding a response from you. And, you know, so I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be rough. So I was praying, and it seemed like God wasn't helping me.
How old were you?
Huh?
How old were you then?
I was a teenager.
Okay.
Trying to be a man of God.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was tough. I was a young teenager. See, I've been doing, as a leader, I've been very, very functionally involved since I was 14 years old. 14, 15 years old, man, I was woven in. I mean, you know, choirs everywhere, churches everywhere, classes everywhere, people everywhere, Bible study in the backyard, and all this beautiful personalities, beautiful females, very attractive people, just...
You understood your purpose early.
I understood it too early. I felt like it was like, you know, God, you ain't right, you ain't fair. Everybody else gets a chance to just be free to just float and just be, and I don't, and so I felt cheated. Yeah, so I'm a little different. I felt cheated. I felt restrained. I felt not I was not given the real opportunity to just explore, like, I'm just using this for lack of a better term, like everybody else.
Right.
Because most of the people around me didn't have that conviction. It was like, man, if I had that chance, But yeah, I was. So I treasured them. One of the things that makes it easy for me now, as a pastor, to see women as sisters, mothers, daughters, etc. I mean, very easy.
Yeah.
I mean, very easy. Without any kind of whatever. It's just, I don't even have that going. It's almost like they are Ali, Rhonda, Cheryl, Katina,
Right.
Tia. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Jada, Jalea, Ari, Nora. It's almost like they're all that to me. Blood family, relatives, and too close for consideration.
Right.
And I thank God for that. I do. I thank Him for that, because the heart needs to be treasured. And it is important that we value people that we behold or we encounter, So, yeah, this is getting ready to go somewhere. I'm telling you, I can tell that now. Vic, you go ahead on. You want to say something?
Well, you made me put myself out there today.
Yeah, we put ourselves out there, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Because,
I appreciate that, because one of the things I said was the earlier is the lack of intelligence of how to be vulnerable. And that means opening up and sharing things that you would rather not other people know about. So, and I'm okay at this stage in my life, I'm okay with sharing those things, because I understand that the things that I went through, the things that were in my head, were for the purpose of sharing and letting others know that you're not by yourself. You're not abnormal because you thought that way, or because you said that thing, or because you did that thing. And at the same time, God knew you before you did it.
Yeah. I tried hard to be perfect. I wasn't perfect, but I tried.
That would be tough to feel like you need to be.
I felt it was tough. See, I started feeling it early in my early 13, 14. I was challenged in so many ways till I needed to be able to please God from my little thinking. I thought I knew it all for a little while back then. It was just, I had a lot to learn. Because regardless to how many scripture you knew, that scripture didn't turn off your biochemistry and those thoughts and imaginations and those feelings, etc. So, I tried desperately hard to be perfect, but no, I wasn't perfect by no stretch of the imagination. It's just that I wasn't and never could be the guy who advanced himself at the expense of a female. I couldn't do that. Yeah. I cared too much for who they needed to be going forward. And I didn't want that. I didn't want that on my record.
Well, that's the thing with me. On the other side of that, I didn't want it on my record either. So I felt fully convicted. Looking back at, man, I did that girl wrong. She didn't deserve that. And then I gotta forgive myself.
Then you gotta forgive yourself. That imperfection, that part that only God knows how to really cure, in many cases in advance.
I didn't know I needed to forgive myself.
Right.
So you carry weight.
Right.
You don't even understand. Sometimes I can remember this. Like, why am I feeling anxious right now? Like, I didn't understand that spiritually I could be feeling a certain way and not knowing why. Not having an idea of things that I needed to let go. Carrying too many bags around. Bags that I didn't have to. God did not make me to have to carry bags around. I didn't understand that I had to revisit those things and then forgive myself, because I know God has,
In order to get beyond it, huh?
in order to move forward. Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. Well, I tell you what, we're going to take another little small break here, and we're going to come back in just a few minutes, and we'll do this last segment for today. But before we go, I want to revisit something you said there, because I tell you what, this is discovery. One of the things I think we're discovering is how easy it was in the novice phase of our existence to have an experience yesterday at the expense of our existence today. Or are we going to discover that everything that happened yesterday, good, bad, or indifferent, needed to happen so that we could be the person we are today? Where do you think we're headed with this? A or B? First or second? First or
Second,
second? That is going to end up working together
all things.
for our good. All right. Well, we're going to be back in just a moment. Listen, I see that some of you now are pushing us into the subterranean chambers of our existence. And I'm telling you, when you go there, it's a deep dive. I hope that you're going with us and you're realizing that, hey, if they can come up back to the surface and recompose themselves and allow God to strengthen them, even so can we. We'll be back in just a few minutes.